All right, we're back. So much to do, y'all. Let's start with this one, though. Excuse me. So for this one, I'd like my positioning to be a little bit more exact on the geometry. So to do that, here's what we'll do. Go to GeoNodes. Put this here. And we'll make inside of it a plane. We'll call this hood geo token. What we do, take object info. We would like this high poly object, and we set geo to UV position. I'm going to join this geometry here. Oh, ginormous. We'll actually have to adjust the UVs for the main hoodie object, so we'll do that right now. That's reasonable. And we'll put them right here. Effect. Sure. Okay. Now here, should be able to see my geometry. Okay. Go back to GeoNode. So what we'd like to do before we set it to, excuse me. Like to sample near surface. And set the position. This guy. Easy peasy. Now, a little confusing in here. All right. Is better. A little more reader. What are we working on? We are working on retopologizing this hoodie here. But I used a geometry node setup to transfer the position instead of doing it by hand, because I really wanted to try to capture these wrinkles super well. Excuse me. We're making a VR chat avatar here. I believe you've come by before. Your name sounds familiar to me, but could be wrong. Oh, okay, okay. Well, welcome back, Dalton. So yeah, I guess I could just put it a little bit outside, and that would ensure that everything does line up right. That's okay. I may forget, so I'm okay with you reminding me. Oh, perfect. That closed up this little edge. very close to being perfect. There's one little gap right there. That would be side right here. There we go. Beautiful. Sweet spot right there. Okay. Is it a plain hoodie or is there going to be a design on it? That's a great question. There will be a design on it. So I can show you the full reference here. This is the avatar. In fact, I'll open up Unity. Or this is the avatar. And then for the design itself, so we've got this hoodie here. And so we just made the clothing in Marvelous Designer. Now we're going to be going through kind of creating the high poly version. So we need to make this trim, these little edges, and just start blocking out some of the details. We should be able to get most of it done. Fingers crossed. All right. Beautiful stuff. So people send a drawing of what they want. Yeah, so when my clients commission me, I do require reference images. So I personally don't like to create. I require reference because I don't like working from just an idea. I prefer to work from reference images, have a blueprint, and, kind of a game plan. It's a lot harder otherwise, in my opinion. There's a lot to be said for kind of knowing what you want with this kind of work. All right, that looks clean. I guess I do want it part of weld, but I'll assign it also to the lit group. So tell me commission means paid. Correct. So people pay me for making avatars for them. I do this work full-time. Cyber chimp avatar. Probably, I don't think I could pick it out, or I would assume I've probably seen it, but I don't think I know the name. Alright, I definitely don't know the name. What would we call this? No, I have not. I can picture that. Is it the VR chat avatar or from like a show or something? Okay, let's see. Cyber, Imp, VR chat. Okay. Yeah, I've definitely seen this once before. I don't need to do that. I can simply bevel. Should work. There we go. Also, the YouTube channel, and it is VR. Okay. Yes, just got back from lunch. We're cleaning up some pants. We're gonna make some very detailed pantaloons. So I want to do a geonode between all this. Nice seeing you. I'm getting out. Sounds good, Morrow. Enjoy your day. Thanks for coming by. Enjoy your day, Dalton. What did I have? I had a sandwich, some hot Cheetos, lemon. The hot lemon Cheetos, those are always a favorite. So I usually regret it afterwards. About 4 hours afterwards. Sounds good. Slime Cheetos are good, but spicy. I love them. I'm a big fan of them. But they definitely can fuck you up. I always struggle flipping the faces here. We got this side. We With the extrusion. No, boom, boom. I definitely would want to flip these ones. And join. Beautiful. Just use this. Ooh. All right, but now we have the solidified option. We can also do a subdivision surface here. Okay, so that's looking pretty good actually. Beautiful. Now we want to make our trim right here. So we'll do that. Whoa. Excuse me. So take our geometry. And we'll delete everything that isn't a named attribute white trim. Boom. So now we have these curves here. Looks like we need to adjust our selection. Now we can do mesh to curve. Subdivision is simply, or at least how I'm using it here. So if we look at these wrinkles here, you can see a pretty big difference if I disable them. So it's helping take the Marvelous Designer information, and especially like this curve here, and just bring out that quality, because we're going to use this for the textures. We're going to bake this detail into our object. There we go. Now we're making this little trim here. This is the old one. Damn. Why isn't the fill caps working anymore? Damn it. That's okay. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Perfect. Now we're able to get that trim. We'll do the belt by hand. Do have a belt generator. There we go. There's our... We need to adjust the curve here. Right now it's kind of rotated funny. I knew more about herbs. That will have to do for now. All right, partially done with that one. Or with the pants. I'm opening up the reference on my other screen. We also have a belt. All right, something to that effect. I want to add that bevel on here. Balls. Okay, so it'll work. That doesn't survive. Bevel when weight edge. Alright, let's open up ReaL. Have to screen for a moment. So, the normal's good. Oh no, it's just okay. The belt. I want the belt creator. Honestly, I don't need it for this one. It's just there's no not the same. Not the same thing. So I need to get my updated curve out here. That should be working. First one's always 0, 0. What are we doing? Taking the x-length, we are combining these into this vector. So at the first point, start at 0, 0. For point 1's gonna be negative. Interesting. There's 3 points. Is not exactly what I expected. Map the range. We're going to take the position. We're going to separate it. We're going to combine these into a single vector, which we will put here. The X position goes in here, and we map it to this one. There's gotta be a simpler way to do this. Yes, there it is. Because everything's already at 1 meter, 1 meter, meter, blah. We can just do the scale. We don't have to set the position or map anything. We can just take this. Fine. When we do this after we do the first transformation. Hopefully the avatar grows great. Thank you, Fox Gamer. I appreciate that. Here it is, right down there. Perfect. That's probably what in here. Yeah. Okay, so now I can adjust my high poly. And always get the right bounding box for this, because otherwise I would just be doing too much work. Because I know I'm going to adjust this again later. Now I always can swap to the correct thing. I was right. Yeah, rotate and scale instead. Rotate and scale. Significant size difference. Okay, how about this? We take this and we resample the curve to evaluate it. The issue is the count doesn't work properly. So this is 1 in every direction. He's wrong. Correct. kind of does. Maybe. Why that works. My intuition. Good enough. Okay. Oh, Eben, welcome. Before I got to ask, just remembered, how come shrink wrap doesn't wrap around folds? So, shrink wrap just gets the nearest point. And there's only two ways that the shrink wrap works. So, if you have a fold, you and your point, the vertex that's you're trying to wrap, it just looks in a circle. So it expands out in a circle till it hits a point. So it's going to hit this point long before it hits this point, because it's just the radius of a sphere, right? It's expanding a sphere till it touches the nearest thing, and then it goes to that one. The only other way to do it is if you have a point, is to use the project method, which uses like the normals, or either the normals and it just shoots it directly down, which is great until you have like a cavity, and then it would only, you could never use a shrink wrap to get in here unless you model it, actually model your shrink wrap. Thank you, Roxas. Welcome, Roxas. Excuse me. Ooh. Sorry. Oh, there. But I've never seen you project to make low poly clothes. You just grab a box, shrink wrap it, and a new shirt pops out. This project is for VRChat, right? Correct. So with my low poly objects, I don't necessarily need them to get all the wrinkles. A little bit hard to see in this view, but so like here, like there's a gap because we're going to turn it into a texture, right? So the texture is going to imply the fold, not the geometry. The geometry doesn't need to fold for because we're going to rely on the texture to make the illusion of the fold. That being said, I did use, if you really want a super accurate, the low poly will just get the shape and the texture will give the depth. Exactly, exactly. That's the visual option, so it gives it this overlay. If I turn the retopology view off, you see how you get kind of this conflicting view. Retopology just helps your geometry appear on top. That's in this drop down up here. Or I guess they moved it here. Mesh, edit, overlays. I think you only see this menu in edit mode. And I did grab the wrong one there. This is the one. Now for this guy here, I did, if you want, you can use geometry nodes to get really exact retopology. So I took this hood, the original Marvelous Designer hood, and I set it to its UV position. And then I create a mesh on top of it, this one, which samples the original position and then puts the retopology back. That's a little more complicated, but that will give you the folds in your geometry. You can see in here, I do actually get this wrinkle back, and it's all quad topology now. This one's a little more complicated. Very useful, but just more challenging if you're unfamiliar. And right now we are working on making the high poly version, so we're making a little belt. We bake some details onto. We also have these little, I guess those are the loops, something. That might just be texture, that might just be paint. Let's look at the high poly jacket. First things first, we'll go to our weld. Get a mask. Sign these. Does that answer your question even? Don't need this one. now we're gonna make this little orange trim object. We can kind of see it. It's up here. It's right there. Some of it I'll make with geometry. Yeah, most likely all of it I'll make with geometry, but I'm not sure why. All right. Okay, so here's a better example, right? It's like if we're looking at this chunk of geometry here, like these folds and wrinkles, like we might be able to get the general shape here. Turn off the reference. We might be able to get the general shape with the geometry, but a lot of the folds are just simply too small. So we don't need to conform the retopology, like our quad mesh here, for each fold, because we can just bake that in. We don't have to rely on using the geometry to create that fold. We're using shrink wrap, but it does not bend in the way yours did on those folds for the pants. Even on top of the real small one, mine wraps around flatly onto the high poly. Almost flatly. I did add a subdivision to my retopology. So I had a simple mesh. So I think the bend you were seeing was the subdivision modifier that was also in my stack. My initial stack when I first make the first circle is the circle, a mirror mod, subdivision modifier, and then a shrink wrap. And after I block out the initial shape, I apply the mirror, apply the subdivision, and duplicate and apply the shrink wrap. So that way I can, then I'm working with the, so that's probably why you were seeing it bend. There's no way I'm going to make a curve that matches that exactly. I'm not sure what you mean by lays flatly. You have to make sure your shrink wraps after your subdivision. I did, but no. Follow your method to the letter. You can send a screenshot in Discord. Oh. Oh. I think we got the basic shape started. Just did wonder what I'm doing wrong. Let's take a look. So it doesn't, there is a decent amount of space. So like looking at it here, like just based on this fold, I think that it kind of curves away quite a bit. What you'll want to do is move your mesh here to clicking, please. Move your mesh closer to the surface. So you kind of want to bring in your mesh because it's just going to the closest point, and you have to make sure that the point you want it to be is what it's closest to. A lot of times what I'm doing when I'm working with my retopology is I'm constantly applying the shrink wrap modifier. So basically the step you're at right now, I would apply the mirror, apply the subdivision, duplicate the shrink wrap, and apply that duplicate shrink wrap. At the end of those operations, you would have just one shrink wrap, your mesh would be applied, and you would have a much denser mesh left on it. And then that's the point where I go into the slide relax tool and start softening and evening out the spacing of everything using the slide relax smooth. And then I would duplicate, apply that shrink wrap again, and just keep going through that cycle. Like basically I go through adding a shrink wrap, moving things around, smoothing them, applying the shrink wrap. But when I do it, I do make sure to duplicate the shrink wrap, then apply it. So I still have a shrink wrap modifier, and I just keep iterating. Apply shrink wrap, then make another one again, and apply again. So yeah, like if I was here on my low poly jacket, I would have my shrink wrap here. I would duplicate it with Shift D because I have my mouse over it. Shift D, Control A to apply, but there's nothing. Right now, this is just an example. And then I would apply that, and I'd still have my main shrink wrap, so I can continue to edit like the shrink wrap's still on. But now I've closed the gap between my edited. I've closed that gap. See, the difficulty you're having is because you have a gap. Your actual geometry is still away from the surface. And so you apply the shrink wrap to close the gap so the mesh is directly on the high poly surface. Use the slide relax to even things out. Apply the shrink wrap again and just iterate. Keep applying that shrink wrap, keep smoothing things out until it fits naturally. if you go through the stream this morning, you'll see that I'm just like constantly reapplying the shrink wrap modifiers as I'm re-topologizing. Relax as in sculpt. Specifically the slide relax brush with smooth. You're using the smooth option with this the slide relax brush. That's the only brush that's gonna do what I was doing. And that brush, light a candle to it every day, straight up stain. Hello, Pablo. Welcome. Excuse me. How's your day going, Pablo? Should get back to modeling, but homework isn't helping. First, you homework. No modeling for me. Sad day. But at least you're looking forward to it. We're gonna go back to doing homework. Good luck with your homework, Pablo. Hopefully it goes by quick. No node wizard, but at least I can MD in ReaL. You're not yet a node wizard. It's all about belief. That should crease. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not getting a good crease. It's probably the shrink wrap. This way. It's still pretty smooth. That's already 4. Let's see. Not sure if I can learn it. I'm still not really good at UE, and let me tell you, the program does not like to share. Excuse me. Beautiful. Okay, we're getting close to some better trim. Gotta try and get faster. It just takes time. But absolutely happy to help. Okay, added the jacket trim there. Now what we're gonna do. Same as you, but if I can help an MD, which is I feel is the only thing I might actually be useful for, do not hesitate. Well, thank you. I definitely you've helped me already in a few moments. So I'm very appreciative of that. Oh, there it is. Where's my hoodie? Where's my hoodie? Those are the curves. We're going to be making the curves from this, not anything else. We need the hood. We want this. Cool. So now I've extracted this trim. What we want to do is actually instance a bunch of curves on it. So we're going to distribute points on faces. Or maybe say mesh 2 points. Maybe we'll do edges. Pretty dense. Pretty dense. Yeah, it's definitely too dense. Or merge by distance. Work. Okay. Is it this? Isn't that the same? It's pretty close to distribute points, but either way. And then we'll do instance on points. What are we instancing? We're instancing a curve line. And we'll make it pretty small. And we'd like to align this to sample lunar surface for the normal. And we're going to align rotation to this vector. So we're going to do that. That is pretty close. Okay. And we'll say realize instances. Actually, take it back. We'll do curve to mesh here. Why not? And curve. Circle. Very tiny. 4. And we'll do radius. Set curve radius. We want to use the spline parameter factor. And we'll reverse curve. Okay, so now we've got something like buzz on here. Because if we're looking at the trim here, we can see it's got a bunch of fuzz. Maybe I won't. I might need to create like a custom mesh to sit on top of this. You know, I think I will actually keep it just as lines to start with, because first off, then we can rotate them randomly. Rotate them randomly. And we can also realize instances. Sample curve to a of more. Because then we can set position randomly. Not like that. But we can, of course, do the influence or scale the vector using factor. That way the root stays in the correct spot. Very useful. And now we'll turn it into a mesh. Definitely looks a little messy. And we would want the trim to kind of go on both sides. Rather than just on one side, it'd be like a little U shape that goes on top of the whole thing. Well, I guess what we could do is we extract the geometry and then we just extrude it. I don't have to do that. I have a slip. Looks kind of gross, to be honest. I don't want to place all these by hand though, but that may be what's needed. Really make it look proper. All right, a few other things to do. It's a logo. I want to create that logo. accidentally flipped. That should be moving. Doing anything. I had trouble with this one last time. I can't remember what was going wrong with it though. Okay. Why is this working? Ah, um, gotcha. I see. The issue is there is no attribute for UV map. Yes, right here. That's the issue. There we go. I think this should be working. All right. Okay. Let's get all the cage objects. Geometry node's still going to get rid of it, so. Okay. Oh. Oh. We're getting there. We are getting there. One second, y'all. All right, I'm back. All right, let's just get it in for initial baking. I don't think I actually want to use curve itself as the geometry. Probably could do some actual paraparticle systems. We're not going to worry about that just yet. Where did this exporter end up? Sometimes the export settings just end up on random stuff. No, that's right. Export these. Okay, I have to go back and update the cages because we didn't actually create the weight paints. Actually, I have to cut the middle of this. For now, we'll just bake it. The middle is going to be a little messed up. Middle is messed up. The hair looks gross. Curves. It's like some form of hair. That one we'll have to clean up later. Oh, I see what's going on. I was should be good. All right. Like the orientation on a lot of the curves is messed up. We do need to space things. All of these. Ollie. Looking pretty good. Okay. We do need to clean up the low poly though. Additionally, we would like to go to the hood. Actually, just going to duplicate these. Probably way to maximize this a little bit more, but we're right at max. I was gonna say before, but this playlist almost seems like Persona OST on those rainy days. I like that. Those are fun games. Long games. Looking through so much. Oh. Doesn't matter which one's which. Alright, that's fine. As long as they're both the same, work. Hello, Kabar. Welcome. Been a while. How you doing? Ah, it's the merge. We're merging them. Gotcha. Okay, so what we'll do is just separate it. There we go. How's your day going, Kabar? Some odd baking in there. Oh, wait, cancel. That's confusing. Oh. I'm tired. I bet you look tired. I think you would win that bet. That looks good. Been working on any fun projects? Thank you. I appreciate that. Truth is, I'm a workaholic. Trying to learn Unity. Exciting. Is there a particular reason? Are you doing making a video game or something? Nice. That's very exciting. Respect really lands when you just dark wizards those damn nodes, though. It's always those goddamn nodes. I love them nodes. This should not be overlapping. I don't know why there's any form of overlap right now. That's one error we'll have to fix. It's pretty much good to go, honestly. to release my node, like a node pack at some point. I'm trying to work on creating like one spot for all my nodes. So that could work out nicely. One node to unite. And in the dark. A few things we'll need to add. Far so good. Pretty decent. Good. All right. Excuse me. Now I could try and put the logo on here, but I think we'll do it as a decal later. I might do like a basic shape of it. There is a little dark rim here. Blends in a little bit, but see it now. All right, well, let's get this into Unity. So we're gonna make a duplicate of this collection. We'll call main outfit Unity version. And we'll remove the exporter. Should we remove the exporter? Right. Where did I just export those? It's this random folder. Okay, cool. Hello, Artist Grip. Welcome. How you doing? It is going well, and we're working on Neku here. How are you doing? Thank you. Good, trying to figure out how to make wrinkles in Blender. I have brushes, but I think my mesh is too small. Interesting. Are you trying to sculpt them? I would assume you are. Usually with wrinkles, you're really just limited by the resolution of the geometry, how many vertexes there are. That's usually the main constraint. If you're gonna bake it, you could always just use like a wrinkle map or something. Do you think it's a good idea to increase vertices, then reduce them again? So, are you familiar with baking textures? Haven't done it in Blender, gotcha. You can do a little bit of baking. I mean, baking is what I'd recommend. If your goal is to get it into VR chat or something, I mean, that's how I've baked my wrinkles here. For the clothing, I made my clothing in Marvelous Designer, retopologized it in Blender, and then brought it into Substance Painter for baking. And that's what's given me a lot of these nice wrinkles here. Excuse me. Now, I would say that retopology is probably your best bet. Like, don't worry about the vertex count when you're trying to make the wrinkles themselves. Like, when I'm working, you know, I mentioned Marvelous Designer, but this doesn't have to be in a different software. Like, you just sculpt as much detail as you can, or get it exactly as you imagine, and then create that simpler version on top of it. Right here, if I turn this one on, you can see how with these two, here, you know, I have these really detailed wrinkles, but I've made my simpler version on top of that. Now, if I could, the way I've set it up is it's a very even distribution, because I want to take those wrinkles and put them in my texture. I'm not worried about capturing them with my low poly geometry. But you could go in and like start cutting here. You're like, okay, I'm gonna try to capture that wrinkle as best I can, and just like alter your geometry to start conforming it to that higher poly version. But if you're trying to do both at the same time, as in you're trying to make the perfect, like the correct topology that you're going to bring into the game, the low poly version, and you're trying to make the details at the same time, those two things work against each other in my experience. Like, you really have to just go one way with one of them, make the detailed version, and then do another pass getting that to create the simpler version, create the optimized version. Because you really are kind of, it's a struggle. And that's why this is a little bit of a tangent, but so I don't like subdivisions workflows for the most part, because if you're trying to make something with a subdivision modifier, a lot of times you're trying to do two things, like make the correct shape and make the optimized version, and those two things do fight each other. Those are, you know, they're actively antagonistic to each other. Anyway, hope that helps. Okay, good. Yeah, and if you have any questions, definitely let me know. Another question, because I think changing the workflow is a good idea. Okay, heck yeah. What if the initial mesh is low poly? Like I took it from the game. Okay. If you have some other geometry and you're looking to edit it, like a you duplicate it, and then so you have your low poly version and you're trying to make the detailed version, you duplicate it, and then you can do all your sculpting, put a lot of subdivisions on it, and get that really detailed version in your duplicate. And then you can shrink wrap your original back onto it. Or, if you made like enough edits where the shape looks different enough, you can shrink wrap it back onto it, or just use retopology. There is a good, I personally just use Blender's standard tools for retopology for the most part. But if you are looking for a really nice retopology tool, there's one called ReTopoFlow. Right here, ReTopoFlow. So you can buy it, and then they have a free version as well. And I'll just copy and paste this here. And this is a great set of tools for kind of fast retopology. Maybe not useful in your case because you already have the geometry, but that's what I recommend. I actually have Quad Remesh. Have you heard of that one? That one's, I believe that one's pretty good. But again, if you already have that low poly version and it's already UV mapped and stuff, I think your best bet's probably adapting that one. Imagine people optimized avatars in VR chat. That day will be a dream. Hey there, Crimson. One day. And we'll go ahead and reset that. Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing what you make. Okay, things are looking super good here. We shouldn't have lost the detail on our... Excuse me. All right, let's go here, and in our Unity version, on the body, go to random. Right. For the most part, this is going to fit. But we will just sculpt it. They just glue them all together with like 5,000 pounds of carpenter glue. In some sense, I think it's kind of cool how collaborative the community is, but it is unfortunate. I just wish that people utilized fallbacks or just weren't. And there's no problem using a really dense or very poorly optimized one if you're in like a private world. But to go into like a public world and basically just, ruin the game for other people. Hey, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the resub. Super appreciate that, Griff. Thank you. And I'd love to see what you end up making, what your edit ends up looking like. This one. let's see this again. And let's do. Wait, sorry, one second. Jacket still needs, because I adjusted the shirt, so now I have to adjust the jacket again. That's better. Bada boom. All right. Ignore the fur poking out. We'll have to do something special for that. Fixing that, but that looks good. Like that. Very cool. Be nice to have like a shadow on the inside there. It's looking really good. Very bueno. I'll be right back. Turn on the light. Excuse me. Sorry, I ate some hot Cheetos. Another question, lol. So are you able to use the brushes that you sculpt with on the normal maps in Blender? So not in the sense like you are sculpting the normal map. You could blend something on top of a normal map. That would probably be a good case for texture baking. So, you know, you could. There are some apps that have those capabilities, but Blender's not one of them. There was one called Cozy Blanket on the iPad. You can do that kind of thing. Yeah, you would want to look into just rebaking the normal map, just making another set of textures. The multi-res for a compromise that's not quite texture baking the same way, the multi-res modifier in Blender does allow you to take a simple mesh and you can kind of subdivide it and sculpt it, but still keep the simple version, the original version, and then bake that texture in. So you could look up something like Blender. I'll just give you the search: Blender, multi-res, normal baking, that. That might be something that's pretty close. You might be able to use that. All right, he's looking good. Yeah, I wish you well with that. Okay, let's add a few more details. I'm gonna start with the pants. I'm gonna grab the trim here and add an anchor point. And on top of this, we'll use my template to sample that anchor point. Make a shadow on the edges. Say something like that. Take out the roughness. Get just a nice little shadow there. Pretty subtle at the moment. A little bit more. That'll help it pop. Excuse me. And then we can also also take the height and push it in a little. And then take the trim and push it out a little. Soften that up just very slightly. Okay. The belt is a little messed up. We'll have to come back to that. Let's get this noise template down here. I want to switch the noise to a pattern. Like something like this. Filed to some insane amount. Switch it to multiply. Give it a little metallic. Just gives it like a little bit of an interesting texture. Maybe just the teeny tiniest amount of indentation. Oop. Switch to height here, so we can take the trim and set this. For the belt, we'll use our curve combo layer. Well, we'll wait for it to load. Curve combo, drop it there. Oh, look at this nice. To it. Probably all we need, really. Maybe a little bit brighter on here. Looks good. Just a wee bit of variation. Want some roughness here. Just a little. Okay, undo the shirt. We'll use another template flat with noise, drop that there. Go to the pattern. Do something quite similar. Slightly different. Right planar is really not that great in this case. I may go back and cut these again as it gets squished there, stretched really. But we're not going to worry about that at the moment. This jacket here, I'd say we'll give this just a little bit of glossiness. Right there. Or maybe the orange trim will be a little glossy. Metallic, its height. A little bit of shininess. That looks cool. But anchor point. Go ahead and copy this one. Not bad. The little tufts are so funny. I would like a little bit more of an edge here, and then also just for this to just be a little bit more rounded. It does look very low angular. Not a fan of that. I want a nice smooth curve there. We're missing the back of the hood though. Oh, of course, that's why it's weird. Because I made it on the high poly. Version. But I didn't make a low poly version. So let's start with the hood. Excuse me. Or no, it's Geonode here. How many versions of this are there? There we go. Made it the cage version. So we need to verify which one this is. This is the inner. And then Alt deduplicate, send this to the low poly collection. low. That should be it. That should be all I need to do. Yeah. Oh, and then hello, Oro. Welcome. We're working on an outfit right now. Oops. Things messed up there. Oh, thank you. Yeah, right now we're working on the outfit. A little bit more to clean up and just get it working proper. Then it's the body of the character. In fact, I don't think you, if you're, I haven't shown off the face rigging yet, so I'll do that now, or today. I haven't shown off the face rigging today. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, we got a little, like the hair there is soft and like kind of fading out, and then we've got the vice seams. I said face rigging, but this is just standard vice seams. We got different expressions. You can talk while doing expressions. Thank you, Wendy. Work on some smaller assets as of late. Still need to do a full clothing piece with baking. Those look good. Thank you. Hey, that's awesome. I think products are good. doing little accessories, things like that. That's always a good exercise, and honestly, can get you a lot of good, positive feedback. And then we also have a fuzzy tail. The tail's a little still on the fence of this how I want the tail to look. I'm showing a new VR chat user some models and reviewed many. Okay, heck yeah. Just listen. Yeah, that's a lot better. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. Always interesting to figure out exactly what the problem is. It's this bullshit. Turn the VR chat students the model and reviewed many. I feel some face emotion animations are either too subtle or way too drastic. Like the sad face can look like they are melting in sadness. Haha. It was fun to compare regardless. Yeah, like especially like anime characters, all the reactions are so over the top. But that's kind of I think that's the fun part about VR. It really is like you're like in a cartoon or something, and it's just like very potent emotion, which is satisfying. Wondering about this, but why you never use the smart materials or downloadable texture patterns from Substance, maybe to train? It's a style, really. 100%. 100%. A lot of the materials from Substance are good, but I do find that I don't know if you ever played a game, like a video game that uses like store-bought assets, and you look around and you're like, oh, I recognize that. I think with Substance, especially if it's like perhaps a free Substance texture or something, like those can be, if you know what you're looking for, you can find them easily or recognize them easily. It's not a bad thing. It just, I would prefer to not have my work be recognized easily. That's all. Just gonna go the other way. Ooh. Interesting. I definitely don't want it to look so dark. Does it get rid of my opacity? Okay. I must have changed that. This program is bad at exporting transparency as far as I can tell. I don't know why. I have the opacity. Oh, I see. Okay. Opacity is its own output. And I just need to feed this into here. This needs to go in here. And the base color can just be I can type. The color. How do I get a color? Give me a color. Input. How do I get a color? Just say blend. There we go. Definitely have opacity now. And I'm setting it here. Base color, and alpha is opacity. Why is that working? Where's my freaking transparency? Okay, I'm being a fool. Being a fool. I am clicking the wrong thing. It's definitely end of day. Forgive me. Ooh, very fuzzy now. Now that's fuzzy. I think I would like it to be less of these shorter upward angles, more directionality to the base of this. But it's looking a lot better, I would say. All right. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Oh, okay. What is next? What do we have left? We've got most of the outfit rigged. Sorry, baked. We do need to rig it. So why don't we just do that? I'm gonna turn on body. I'm gonna set the body. We're gonna set it to the robust weight transfer. Yes. I don't want anything else affecting it. This should be the right call. this, and select all these, and turn on this parent with empty groups. Subset is set to deform bones, but body low has no armature mod. This will just parent. Actually, does that body even have vertex groups? I'm using the wrong thing. That's our Marvelous Designer one. We have our body here. This is, I think, the one I actually want to transfer from. Jeez. Yeah. Body. Then we can select all our items here and transfer the weights. Everything but the hood. Okay, we should probably mesh all of these objects now. So that one's good. This one we have to apply. This one is good. This one is good. This one we have to apply. This one we apply. One more time, transfer the weights. Very cool. And we do have the armature on it already, so we can just turn on the armature. Take this outfit, say Auto Rig Pro, and export the main outfit. All right. Then cry. Why didn't it work? An outfit. That did work. Something else is happening on the Unity side of things. Let's delete this outfit and just drag it back out. It is here, but it is extremely tiny. Set this to teeny tiny. Okay, so something's wrong with that. Probably the animations, the animation data. Go ahead and make sure to remove animation. All right, now what I've really been enjoying doing with my avatars is keeping the clothing as a completely separate item and using the armature link with VRC Fury to actually combine them. A little bit simpler, honestly. Helps disentangle things, in my opinion. Okay, pretty good. Oh, we got 15 minutes. Let's start adding some other things. Our biz bones. That should be all the fizz bones. We'll have a hair one, but we have not created fizz bones for the hair yet. Remove the main outfit for the moment. Hello, for Vlad. Welcome back. We'll be watching the Game Awards 2024 on your second screen today. I actually am just about to end the stream for the day, unfortunately. I actually didn't know that was today, so that's exciting. But I heard rumors that Half-Life 3 is going to be announced, but man, when has that been a rumor? Whoa, look at that tail. Something definitely broke on the tail rigging. I didn't rig some of these. The butt's rigged though. Any particular game you're excited about? See if the Half-Life 3 leak was a troll or not. I mean, fingers crossed it's not. Because I would assume that if they're doing a third one, it's going to be in VR. Or at least related to VR somehow. That's good news for me. His ears should be flapping. There we go. Now the pecs are moving. It's not a lot. That's moving. I think for all these, we'll turn down the immobile. Let's go fix the tail really quick. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited. Thanks for reminding me. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it tonight. Happy with current games like Monster Hunter Death Stranding 2. I hope they will announce a specific date, not like coming 2025 like before. It's like keeping you on your toes, you know? Good. Alright, this is my last export for tonight. We're going to take a quick look at the tail. I just want to see it in motion. And then we're calling it. I'm sleepy. I'm not sleepy, I'm tired. I'm working. Do 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 do. Good. What? It's a little rubbery, but looks good. Nice and fuzzy. Cool. All right, everyone. That is the last test for today. I'm going to go ahead and call it here for the stream. Thank you all for hanging out, seeing what I'm up to this evening, today. Thank you for the support. Thank you for chilling with me. I do hope you're all having an amazing end of your Thursday, or start, or start of your Friday. Who knows? Whatever time it is for you. Hope you're having a great one. I'll be back tomorrow for another full day of streaming. We'll probably be very close to done with Neku by the end of tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Other than that, hope you're all enjoying the rest of your evening. See you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye, everyone.